Hey Cancer, welcome to my channel. I just started recording without sound. I'm hoping my last video had sound. I just realized that my mic was turned off. Anyway guys, Happy New Year. It's my favorite time of year when, like, basically I'm in the last week of December as I'm recording this. And it's where everyone starts reflecting on the year we've had, and what they want to change, where they're going, goals to make. So it's that collective energy that globally we are all able to like harness and use to our advantage, to get our goals kick-started, right? Hop onto that energy, let's get going. And yeah, so I love it. I love the energy feels. For the first time in 3 years, 3 New Years in a row, it was like the year I fell pregnant with my youngest. That's the last time I felt this kind of really spiritual happiness and healing, as though it's going to be good. And I'm claiming that. I'm claiming that this year is going to be a much better year. It's going to be my year. So yeah, 2023. We got this. I am using the Shapeshifter Oracle by Lucy Cavendish as the main deck. As you know, if you follow me, I go just by what I'm drawn to. I stand in front of all my cards. And just these are the cards that came forward for me for this month. I'm also using the Oracle of the Hidden Worlds by Lucy Cavendish. I really resonate with Lucy. Perhaps it's because we share the same name and we just vibe the same. But yeah, I do. So I've got 2 of her decks today, and also Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. I will probably link them below anyway, or I have all my cards linked below what I use as I use them. I have a lot more cards than what's on there, but it's just since I started doing the readings on live, I think they're the ones I've used so far since I actually started listing what I use. So if you have any questions in regards to decks or anything, let me know. I'll just comment back. That one. Oh, that one. Both of them. Okay. Oh, you got 3. Okay, are you ready, guys? What's in store for you for this year? Okay, Cancer. So you start off with a good one, really. The Sea Queen's Blessing. I feel a level of comfort. This is a time, the first 2 weeks of January, is a time for reflection and kind of resting, recuperating. Probably after the holiday season, this is what's needed. But it just feels comfortable for you, Cancer. The key word that's with it is the Mirror. Other lives, past lives, dimensional levels. Oh, that's very interesting. Just as I said that, I get something to do with a child here. Could be you as a child in a past life. I think I need a water. It could be a child's significance to you. Something about a child anyway. Perhaps as well, if you have a young child, I feel like they could potentially either have been with you in the past life, which is very popular, very common, but it just feels as though it may even be a loved one that's sort of come to rejoin you. I'm just getting this kind of connection with a child, a young child. So this may be something that makes sense for you, like it's what you've thought for a while. I feel like that's the confirmation there. But with that, it's like a blessing. It's though they've been sent here to help you, guide you, or support you on your way. And it's like a blessing from your ancestors as well, I kind of get here. I do feel ancestral thing here with you, aside from that little message there. I feel as though you are very supported by your ancestors during this time, as though there's some spiritual growth for you to kind of harness. It feels as though you're relaxing into it. I do feel like take inventory and take advantage of these moments of indulging in kind of downtime. I'm just getting relaxing, I'm getting comfort, I'm getting just not worrying about the mundane things and tasks that you may have to do at some point, and just focusing on switching off more than anything. It's such a hot day, guys. I'm sweating so much. We have Sacred Beetle Armor as our next one. You have a mighty shield. Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. Wow. Definitely spiritual, like, I just get this time for you, I feel, is really kind of growing your gifts, and spirituality just kind of I just feel like gifts are flourishing during this time. I do feel like you are protected. I'm just getting this kind of ancestral vibe of, so like, you know, your guides are really teaming up during this time to support you. But I don't feel like you need to be protected. It's more like they're with you during this kind of next level. And I've said that a few times in my readings about next level. We're all kind of leveling up in this time. And I feel like for you, it is a very much coming into your own power. And realizing how powerful you are. I feel like you are a good protector of your loved ones, actually. And that is children too. I feel like you are a great shield and protector of them. And you are helping to raise them in a way that's really kind of the best way for them, actually. So if you are somebody who is a mom, and maybe you might beat yourself up a little bit. I'm really thirsty. Sorry, guys. It is so hot today, like really hot. And I'm recording outside. Yeah, that you are kind of like their guardian and helping to protect them and their shield, and raising them kind of, I want to say, like, into beautiful little people. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So if you are a mum that's kind of beating yourself up, thinking, you know, I'm not doing enough, or maybe like you felt that you've not been your best self towards them, I feel like, no, you were doing as good as you need to do, and you're doing perfectly well. And I feel like it's like we live the lives that we lead to grow into the person that we need to be. And I feel like sometimes, so that even comes with the way that our parents are with us. It's that to help shape us on our right path and come to our own spaces. And I feel like that's exactly what you've been doing, to release any burdens of that. Because here I do just get the sense of being taken easy, and that can sometimes be like literally taking it easy on yourself and being kinder. I'm leaning this. Oh, you're like my fourth video of today, so things are just happening. The heat is making my outfit stretch now. Like, this was really tight when I put it on, and it's stretched now, apparently being in the sun. My laptop was heating up. It's all happening. I need a drink. It's all happening. Okay, cool. The butterfly ferrets. I am reborn. Definitely levels of support. You have support around you. I am feeling like it's very much in terms of loved ones, guardians, and the spiritual realm. I just feel like you are very much supported in who you are and where you're going during this time. But I think you also have that in your life. And I just feel like you have your soul tribe back with you as well. For some reason, I keep being drawn to be confirming that for you. So maybe you've been feeling a little bit sadness of whether or not you are alone or something, because that just feels like saying, like, they're with you. They're the people that you know, the people that you love. They're there. Returning home, transition, life between lifetimes and loving welcome. See, there's definitely like a reunion of something. Be conscious of your any kind of connections you rekindle, or like new connections that you create. I feel like it's a returning of a soul, like a coming home. This will be a relationship as well. If you're starting new relationships, I would say that it's somebody who makes you feel as though you've known them before. They make you feel very comfortable. This is confirmation of that. You have. And that's why they feel like home. Life between lifetimes. See, with that, when I said that, I get this sense of this, it's like you are here for a reason. I just feel like you are a very supportive figure. Again, I'm getting children or people, like that you are very supportive. There is a hornet. Please don't come near me. I'm going to take a box lid in case I have to scoop it away. Sorry guys, there's lots of distractions during your reading. Interesting. Hornet. Again, take it easy on yourself. I do feel like, again, with this shielding, you might be a little bit too overprotective of yourself, or maybe your loved ones as well. Maybe you are feeling overcompensating in the protector role as well. We have the Snake Princess, the Serpentine Path to Power, and align your life. What is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? Interesting. So I am really getting this taking inventory vibe for you. And like I said, these first 2 weeks of January, we have 3 planets retrograding. We have Mercury in retrograde, which clearly is the one that everyone's like, oh no, it comes up. I feel like normally I'm like, you know, if it comes up, it's something you need to deal with. This is more of an observing time. I feel like it's there for you to observe and acknowledge, but not really react. So be wary of your reactions, because Mars is always also retrograding. It, I think, is moving into Gemini. I'm sure I saw that Mars was moving into Gemini. So I would be aware of your reactions, definitely. And your mood may your mood with reactions may be kind of like from one to another. For some reason, this has come up for you now. I haven't said this to another sign, even though I know this. So that's quite interesting. I feel as though observe how you're feeling, how you're reacting, how that what it's bringing up for you, very in terms of conflict and arguments and reactions and interactions with people. Because there may be things that are not aligning true with your life now. And maybe that's why you're feeling this need to kind of put up your shield. When you're being told to kind of just relax, be calm. You are protected. You have your people, your entities with you, guarding and protecting you. You're perfectly safe. But what it's bringing here is the knowledge for you, for the wisdom, this serpentine path to power. Your power is by reflecting on things and making the changes necessary into your life. Now, Cancer, I do think last year, some of your readings, I don't fully remember, it's triggering it now, a memory of saying about you putting other people before yourself. And I feel like you did really good. But 2022 was kind of like we do really good, and then there's these things and walls in the way, and we go back and forth with things. There's a purpose for that. And it's reflecting on that during this time. So the last 2 weeks of January is the time when the planets kind of come into a space where it's like now you can start taking action, stepping stones. And again, it's not about reaching an end goal. It's about starting something new and bringing something into life and making things align with your life. Things that are not in alignment need to be let go of. And I feel like you're ready for this. You've been ready for like 2 years. That's what this feels like for me. But it's about actually really truly committing to that now, and use your knowledge and wisdom. I feel like you are wise with this, you know, and I do feel like, Cancer, that you are one of the signs that when I do say something to you, you probably already know it. You are intuitive enough to understand it. It's just maybe you haven't allowed it to be put into practice because of that empathy you feel so strongly for others that are involved that maybe you have to let go of. So think of that how you will. Dinosaur friends, childhood treasures resurface. So things definitely going to come to the surface. It's going to be past wounds that may reveal themselves. But there's tools here, and there's good stuff. I said this to another sign. I feel like saying it to you as well. About remember the good times, remember good things. And actually, Cancer, this is something you do. So I feel like you're like, I always do that. I remember the good stuff and then I don't remember the bad stuff. And normally I'm like, remember the bad stuff. We need that as well. That's what helps us to let go. But I feel like you need to remember the good things, because where there are good times, there's a reason why we went through the hard times, because those good times are also gifts that we were given, as well as the bad times. Because the bad times are gifts too. They teach us what we don't want and what we need to let go of. And they teach us that we no longer live in that situation anymore, or we no longer need to be in that situation anymore, right? The bad times help us to acknowledge that. But the good times keep us there. But if we realize that those good things were meant for you in that time of your life, you needed that to get through the bad stuff as well, and that the good times are blessings from the life that you have been living through and experiencing. Now, in order to continue to receive future blessings, you have to let go of the old blessings, the old stuff that was good for you then, and realize that it doesn't resonate with you anymore. What was good for you 5 years ago, if you probably are still receiving that now, but it doesn't resonate and fulfill you in the same way it did, because you're no longer that person. You've grown. You've been through that. You've experienced that. It's like, what's next? What's new? And that's what I want you to get from this, is realize those gems are good things to bring with you, if they still are good things to your present life. Yeah? The Angel Gate, cleansing, protection, and blessing. You definitely have to do a good releasing. And blessings. Cleansing, you're releasing and letting go of the old. I do feel like this is the best time to be, right? So we have two chances here. We have our new year, which is the global whatever timeline. New Year, yeah, I don't know. And then we have the lunar new year, which is astrological. That's more like where you're gonna. This is my own perspective of it. Is I feel like now is really good global collective energy because it's where we're all like, yay, new year, calendar resets. Then we have lunar new year. You have the planets and global energy, but you have everything working in your favor. So again, the January is like the test run until we have that lunar new year towards the end of January, where we then put things into practice. So don't worry if things are starting off a bit slow. That is what this kind of is designed for. If we follow cycles and patterns, this time is meant for reflection and to cleanse. So as I'm saying that, when I'm saying cleansing, this is a really good time to get rid of clothes, cleaning. Now, if you do follow Chinese tradition, that's what they do leading up to New Year. They will clean out the whole house, and this concept of cleaning of curtains, decluttering, organizing. Basically, the idea is you want your house to be into a space of how you want your year to be. So it's about getting rid of the stagnant and dustiness and coming into the new year with a clean energy. And this comes with other little superstitions and things where don't do your washing on the first day, for the first 3 days or something like that. Make sure it's all done before the new year, or else wait. And it comes with the same saying as you don't want to start your new year with hard labor, because that's what you're choosing to begin the year off. Yeah. So be very conscious of how you're coming into this. But you've got the whole January to reflect. Don't be harsh on yourself. Relax into it. But I feel like that could be really beneficial to you, Cancer. We next have Miss Spiderweb. Reconsider your alliances and make new connection. You really are being urged to let go of people. I feel like there's just toxic or something it's toxic to you now. They may not even be toxic people, but the connection, it just doesn't serve you anymore. I think that you need to fully accept that, and move forward. Make new connections. I do kind of feel like there may be a new connection, which is an old connection, but it's not like it ever went toxic. It was just necessarily for the times. I don't know why I'm feeling that. It's just for some of you, it could be relevant. But I feel like you are full of abundance during this time. I feel like you really are seeing your blessings and able to experience your blessings. So it doesn't feel like you're in a bad space at all. But it does just feel as though you need to be still, and you are still. So do not be harsh on yourself and feel like you have to rush into stuff. You need to get moving, you need to get started, because I feel as though you are where you need to be during this time. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. There you go. You are meant to be going through this at this moment. You are divinely guided. Trust in your instincts and realize that where you are is exactly where you need to be. You don't need to be anywhere else. Spirit of Spring, freedom, action, and power. She is with the albino alligator. Magical protection is necessary. Interesting. Let's have a look. Ooh. So you're growing something new in your life. Now, Uranus is the third planet that is in retrograde. I don't think I mentioned that to you yet, because I need to mention it now. Uranus is the planet of independence and freedom, and it is in Taurus, which means that we are going to be working subconsciously. All areas of our life is going to try and be in aligning us with what our true purpose is, and what is foundational, long-lasting, what is in alignment with what we desire and what we want from life, and what gives us full fulfillment. Home life, family life, career. It all has to align with comfort, with love, and in a space that feels authentic to us. Now, everybody's level of freedom is different. Some people feel free when they have financial freedom. Some people feel free when they're able to just travel or have the freedom, like the luxury of time, to do what they desire. You know, everybody's freedom is different. And this is really about Uranus is pushing you towards that. So this card to me is like saying you're building something and it's leading you towards freedom. But it is a time where you may be feeling more vulnerable. We're all kind of getting these cards of vulnerability. And it's acknowledging that we are feeling like that kind of vulnerable. And I feel like you could be snappy with that. This is what I was talking about earlier. Be wary of what you're snappy with. But I feel like there's reasons for this. because it's showing you areas where you need to protect yourself from or let go of. And that's what I'm saying with be aware of the interactions that you have, because it's showing you what's not right for you anymore. So who you're snapping at, I do think that you need to protect yourself from their energy. But I just get this sense of honoring your snappiness, not just take it as hormones, not just take it as, it is just what it is. It's you reacting to something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that makes you feel like this is not right for me anymore. So I feel like you need to protect yourself, as in a way where you would if it was your child. Understand yourself and honor yourself, so you're truly working with the energies to your better life. Freedom, action, power. Freedom. Feel free to take the time you need, but take action towards the end of January is where I advise. Trust your instincts. Go with what feels right. But you have the power. You are controlling whatever it is that you're creating in your life. That is literally what the astrology in these times is all about, is us creating something which is unique to each individual. And I really love it. Our last cards, you were 4, it's Wolves of Venice. You're far, far away from home. Now, this card to me literally is sort of saying that you're not there yet. You haven't reached a destination where you might feel content with life, or that things are as you have been building for it, because you're still on this journey, you're still on the way, but you have your pack with you. And I feel like that's what you're doing on your journey so far, is that you are building up your pack, your people, and finding out who is your people and who is not. And it's all about, finding your soul circle and people who resonate with you and help you to feel your true potential. With this card, though, can come vulnerability again, and it's all about changing. Changes make us vulnerable because we're unsure of the future. You're not supposed to know where you're going. You're not supposed to know what's to come. And I think that this year is going to be full of really good surprises, of great abundance that is beyond what we dare to expect for ourselves. And so while we feel vulnerable in these moments, you'll be happily surprised. You have Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, and the original light workers. Definitely spiritual growth here, and it comes with feeling vulnerable in this because you feel alone. I don't think I've ever spoken to anybody who is spiritual, who is working on themselves, that doesn't feel like they're entirely alone, at least in the beginning. And every single one of us feel like that. We all feel like we don't belong. I don't know if it was you who I said that to just in the beginning, or if I said it to Pisces just before. But for me, I don't feel like I fit in with anybody or anything or belong anywhere. And the connections I have tend to be with people who are the complete opposite to myself, because I don't feel like I do fit in with anyone, that anyone's like me. And that's a general feeling that a lot of us feel like. So we fit into that circle. I actually had a dream about this, or a conversation with myself in my head. It happens. I'm crazy. Where I realized that if I was to be in a group of room with a group of people that look like me and my age, like they are my type, like they look like me, they act like me, look like me, I don't get on with them. Like I don't fit in. I wouldn't go up to them and say hi. I would feel very vulnerable with those people. Or if there's a group of people who they like what I like, they don't look like me or anything, but they like what I like, they're into my stuff, I don't feel like I belong to them either. And I don't. But then there's a group of people who are just themselves. They don't look like me, they don't act like me, they're not into my stuff, they don't beat to their own drum. I would walk up to them and say hi and feel more comfortable in their presence than people who are like me. And I think that's kind of interesting, because it sort of shows really that there is nobody like any of us. We are all unique, we are all inspiring. And if we actually realize and celebrate each other and ourselves like that, we would all feel comfortable and at home with each other. And that's the world that we're creating. That's the world that us spiritual people want. It's the world that anybody who is not stubborn and stuck in the past and wanting hate really wants, right? That's what we want. So we need to start acting like the world we want and not the world we're living in. It's that kind of feel here of realizing that you're not alone and that we all belong in this space. We're here because this is our home. And So moving on from that, where I originally started, because my stories go back and forth, is that I realized like I don't feel at home anywhere, but that my home, I am home. I am, wherever I am, I'm always with myself, like I am home, you know, and it's all about perception. And 2023, I think it's about perspective on how we see things. If we see things in a negative light, that's how they will be. If we perceive them as something much more positive, I feel like the perception is going to create the reality that we're living in for this year. Soul family, call in your tribe, call in your people, and you don't have to do it alone. I do get this massive sense that you do have a community that you have been building along the way, and I do feel like you are supported spiritually for your spirit team, so you're not alone. So you don't have to try and do it all by yourself. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? And this is what we all have done for so long. It's exhausting. I was talking to my dad. I had a very deep conversation with him about all this stuff. I don't have this, don't have the same perspective. He's coming from a white male who's in his 50s, and from this conversation we have, he's definitely a much more enlightened to the one I knew when I was growing up, but he's still not there, right? But it made me realize, and I remember saying like to him something like, why I'm like, we talked about race, we talked about sexuality and things, and obviously, like, as we know, a lot of the older generations are in this like, oh, it's fine, people can be who they want to be as long as it's not in my face. And I'm like, but like when you're in a bar, so I'm going to just go and say two gay men, because for this analogy to fit in with what I'm saying, there's two gay men in a bar, right? They're just going to a bar. They don't know each other, but they've spotted each other, and then they just know they're gay, right? So he's like, he wants to pull him because he's really attracted to him, right? So if this is a straight male and a straight woman, then that male will just go up and talk to her, and it'd be fine. Like, no one in the bar would even think out of it. They might look at him and go, they're flirting, and that would be it. But there's two gay men doing it. Now, there's men at the bar that might go fucking faggots and say something really toxic. So now these two gay men have to be on edge. My dad was saying, why do they need their own bar? And they should be in their bar, that's what's there. And I'm like, yeah, but those bars are created to protect people. Because now these two people that are in a normal bar, because they're normal, they're people, they're humans in a bar that's not segregated, because it's okay to not segregate this type of thing, you know what I mean? But they're now being told they're not welcome there. They don't belong there. They're just being normal. They're just flirting. They're not all over each other. They're not having sex in the bar like you're all scared they're gonna do. And that's the perspective here. If you alienate and you segregate, you create and hate, and you're part of the problem. And that's not a world that I want to live in. And those people should not have to dim their shine, as long as you're not doing anything that is illegal or and I was going to say immoral, but let's say like religion is bullshit. And I'm not saying all religions, I'm on about the man-made shit, like, you know, like people can't be gay. That is man-made shit. And so, like, these are things that we set in society to be, like, how we treat people and expectations. It's not the world we want, and you shouldn't have to dim your shine to be able to attract love, to be able to be yourself, to be at peace in a public area. If you want to be a hateful person, stay at home and create your own world in your own world. Disown your children, do whatever you want to do in your own world, and let them be free in the public eye. That is my take on that kind of thing. And this is exactly what this is feeling for me, is like, you need to start creating the world that you desire in this world. And I think you're in this space where you have perhaps shun yourself from the world to an extent because you're more comfortable at home, which is totally relatable, and I am Cancer rising. So I do have this in my chart as well, so this would be effective for me. But just be your authentic self and raise your children, for those of you that had that children thing, to be accepted and to accept others. And I feel like you'll be a great teacher, Cancer. I feel like you're coming from this space of knowing and knowledge and wisdom, and yeah, you are supported with whatever path you are to take. I love this for you, Cancer. It was very spiritual. I am loving that. There is no need to take rash action here. It's more about taking the steps towards your world, making your world better and more suited to you. Thank you, guys. Happy New Year and many blessings. Please subscribe to my channel. Every like, subscribe and watch helps. Please follow your sun, moon and rising for a bigger picture of what's happening for you. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next month.